Good evening, everyone. So let me first introduce our panelists. We have Jyothi Gupta. She's an architect, geospatial data scientist, associate professor of Christ University, with a 19 plus years of experience in AEC industry, recognized as a global smart cities champion by the World CSR Congress, expert in smart cities, urban analytics, geospatial data science, and sustainability. She has presented 24 plus papers at national and international forums, PhD researcher in urban geospatial data science and smart cities, recipient of the Women Leadership Award at Karnataka Women's Conclave and Awards 2025. A round of applause for her. Antra Bhargava, founder and CEO of Dhrunik Solutions Private Limited, which has the brand Dharti and a particular specific shop, which we will talk about, Bhumiverse. And she's the founder and chairperson of the Wow Kitty Trust. So Bhumiverse is a woman-led venture making ethical consumption the norm through a multi-channel platform. Bhumiverse, which is a multi-brand, multi-category, first of its kind sustainability superstore, through which she aims to make ethical consumption normal. Decade-long changemaker, building scalable social impact models, qualified CA and law honors graduate from Trinity College Dublin, former CEO of Suvitas, an award-winning healthcare startup in transition care, found the PACE personal safety model taught to 20,000 plus people, and her climate focus emerged from identifying pollution as a root cause of rising NCDs in India. And we have Mr. N Rao, distinguished HR and business leader, ESG champion, sustainability transformation expert, 27 plus years across HR, industrial relations, L&D, OD, administration and faculty management, facility management in power, energy and infrastructure sector, managed 10,000 plus workforce, led 2,500 plus crore projects across 200 plus multi-location sites, delivered 16 plus crore cost optimization, 90 plus % plus employee engagement and 99% plus compliance, enabled GPTW, ISO, 5S, green building and CII certifications, recipient of 25 plus national and international awards, including the top 10 global HR leader and green infrastructure recognitions, currently pursuing CHRO head HR roles with focus on healthcare, ESG and tech-driven HR transformation. So we have an excellent expert set of panels who are already working with sustainability in their different areas. And it is important that we are talking about the different areas because today we are also focusing a lot on AI. And with AI, AI is not useful if it is not being used in the right way to improve what we are doing in our area of work. While AI is helpful, we are also know that AI itself is also having a lot of negative impact on the environment. So we need to look at that aspect too. So climate change is no longer a distant threat. It's a present business reality. But here's the exciting truth. The climate crisis is also greatest entrepreneurial opportunity of our generation. Every sector needs reinvention, every process needs decarbonization, and every community needs green solutions. So we have already seen that very recently, a couple of weeks back, government has declared that by 2035, it will reduce the emission by 47% of India to be in track to have a net zero situation by 2070. What we also see is that now there is a lot of clients, investors who are asking for sustainable products and services. Another aspect that we have to also look at, which we heard in the morning also in some session, is that when we are looking at education, in our time, being an older generation, so we studied to get a job. But now it is not limited to jobs. We can study even to become an entrepreneur. And we have to keep that in mind. And sustainability brings a lot of opportunities for us in different forms for all of us. So we will start with a first set of questions. It is a single question to all three of you. When did green become profitable, not just purposeful? So what I would like you to tell is, in 30 seconds, tell me the moment when did you realize that green could be a genuine business advantage, not just a moral stance? I will start with Jyothi.
Thank you. Firstly, I would like to thank this opportunity from the organizers and also from the team to being part of this panel. Green is one of our favorite subjects. Unfortunately, nowadays there's a lot of global warming that's working out, and we are all in an uncertainty phase. So when we talk about green technology, we talk about sustainability, then how can we not talk about AI? AI is the main part that we all need to work on. So I would say one sentence to go ahead with: sustainability needs to be considered not only on the finishing, the materials, the aesthetic part, but also on the technology, on the AI, and also the engineering part that we will be all discussing in this panel.
Thank you. Antra?
So for me, I think number one starting point is that the word green is a bit, misleading, because the way I look at sustainability is that we have to look at all 4 pillars of the SDGs, which are climate, gender, impact, and health. And I think coming from a background of being a chartered accountant, cash flow positivity, profitability are the fundamental values of making a business sustainable or any organization sustainable. So I've always had that vision that unless I build something which is capable of living beyond my lifetime, and it has the mechanism inbuilt that the funds will flow in that manner, the impact will unfortunately die with me or be limited. So I think profitability as a vehicle of sustainability, and sustainability being the larger game that we are all working towards, is sort of fundamental. It's not a new concept. And I think companies like Patagonia have shown the way and are inspiration for all of us. It's a $3 billion global company or more probably. So I think that's really where my thought process came from.
Thanks.
Firstly, a very nice introduction by sir. It's really wonderful. And secondly, thanks for the opportunity given by the EVENTEX. It's a very good opportunity for the people to speak about their personal experiences. Thirdly, since morning we are all there here, the topic is sustainability. And definitely we have to sustain ourselves. Since morning we have sustained our every inch of pulse, everything. So we sustain for you guys. You also sustain for us. Almost 20 plus audience are there and new aspirants. Really thanks that you guys stay with us. You learn a lot of things from us. That's why we carry a knowledge book. So we cannot miss something. So we bring the data so we can share something which will be helpful for you. As per question, it's like a green means it's a steamboat ship. You have to take care of your planet, people, assets, and your around the place, everything you have to take care as, maintain, sustain. Sustainability is not just today has come, it's already coming from long times. Sustainability means there is an idea generation starts. So every sustainability movement, you will get a lot of idea generation. The idea become startups. So that's I want to say that.
Thank you. So the topic is climate tech and sustainability, building profitable green business. And what Antra mentioned is that a business is not sustainable if it doesn't make profit, right? So we have to think through that. So the first question to Antra on this is, from ethical consumption to profitable business is something which you are working on. So Bhumiverse is built on making ethical consumption to the norm. The norm, not a niche. But conscious consumers are notoriously hard to convert into paying loyal customers. What's the actual business model that works? How do you balance mission and margin? And the question is because we see that wherever we go, people think that sustainability and profitability does not go together. They have a inhibition that if we have to look at sustainability, it means it will cost more, right?
So there is a hard truth to this, and I think, although I don't want to, I'll quote from the Hermes business leadership when they are told, oh, your bags are so expensive. And he's turned around, and it's a viral Instagram interview now. He said, we are not expensive, we are costly. It takes a certain amount of resources to make what we make of the quality that we make. So I think one of the key things that, is sustainability is now a buzzword, but really what does it mean? It means a quality product. It could be quality in terms of bioavailability of nutrition. It could be quality because it's going to last a long time. It could be quality because it's not polluting the environment, but it is quality. You're paying for quality. You're paying for your health. You're paying for the generational health of the planet and the people. So now how much are you willing to pay for your health? You can pay for it in terms of investing in the right product, or you can pay for it sitting in a hospital bed, right? So that's one way of looking at it. But the way I look at it from a startup perspective or a business perspective is, and this is a problem we have within our own sustainability industry, if you don't mind me saying so. We pat ourselves on the back saying, oh, see, sustainable consumption has grown, vegan leather has grown so much, CAGR of 27%, X number of $1 billion. So where our starting point is zero and we are seeing the incremental growth and we are very happy with ourselves. But if you see every single year at the UN SDG review of the 180 countries or Davos, what is the final outcome? The final outcome is we are not moving the needle on solving the Earth's problems. At a macro level, we are failing, right? Why are we failing? Because we are focused on the niche. It is costlier to make quality products today. It is cheaper to make products that take shortcuts and cause harm. That's a fact. So do you play at the greenwashing, green premium space, which certain companies do and have made very profitable moves in that space? Or if you want to go mass market, is the capital available to do that? No. If you want to scale up, can you compete with unethical producers? No. So what's the solution? It starts with first looking at who is your competition. In my opinion, don't look at another vegan leather or plant-based leather as a competition to, for example, one of my products. I say the entire leather goods industry, which is a global $500 billion industry, is up for grabs. If I look at it like that, am I going to sell a sustainable product? No. I'm going to look at consumer psychology. All over the world, consumers are the same. They want good quality, good looking products that help them feel better about themselves. You're selling joy, you're selling aspiration, you're selling convenience and value, not affordability. If you can get those basic tenets right with any product in any brand category, you're competing like for like. You compete sustainability to non-sustainability, you will always play the price game. But you compete quality, you will always succeed. There will be a high growth sector for you and your business will only grow. That's my observation.
Thanks. I think today what we also see from various companies is that the mindset is changing for people. People are asking, and more so the younger generation, they are looking for a product which is sustainable, a product which has less negative impact on the environment. On one side, there is the legal compliance that is required in countries like Europe, but on the other side, the mindset of the people itself has changed. And that's why they are willing to pay a premium to a certain extent to get it. But on the other side, we will see how it impacts on the business, right? So, Jyothi, you sit at the intersection of academia, industry, and smart city research. You see where the money flows and where it doesn't. Where are investors genuinely backing green business as return generating assets? And where are they still treating sustainability as a charity project or a compliance checkbox? And you have the experience of both UK and India. So, share
Thank
your
you.
experience.
Thank you for this detailed. The way you ask question only is so inspiring. It's like, take you to the next level of expressing, talking from the heart. So I would say 3 main pillars of green businesses that we all need to target, not only an academician and an industry leaders. One is renewable energy, whether I talk about solar, wind turbines, and the that we are all facing energy challenges because of the war. Second is about the apart from the renewable energy, we talk about emission, the greenhouse gases, the carbon dioxide emission. You're all aware about the net zero target, 2030 target that has been assigned by the Paris Agreement. And then we go ahead with the main aspects for all the startup is how are we doing cost effectiveness using the sustainable products. So I would say these 3 main pillars plays a major role for you to understand any startup, whether we are talking about, I just, had a walkthrough in our Nimhan center, and when I was just seeing, we have such a good stalls, and the best part is we have women entrepreneurs. They are sitting around and they're talking about their store, whether I talk about FinBooks, whether I talk about IACCC, and the people who were just there before our panel. And they were talking more about their startup website creations and how can be, whether it's digital, whether it's physical material, we need to make it sustainable. And the main part is how are we working on and making it. Now, the government have not aligned, it's not a mandate, but days are not far when there will be a mandate from the government that sustainability is very important. There need to be a LEED certification, there need to be a GREHA that needs to be talking about how, as an architect, we are all aware how the building needs to be certified, to be a green building. It's mandatory now. No building can be executed without having the LEED certificate. More than that, now even the startup with the new businesses, this kind of resilience needs to be, I think, worked out. So I would say my take would be more on startup to focus on green, the first word green, because we are all in a phase of global warming, right?
Okay, good. I mean, what I see in the building and architecture side is that typically an architect would not consider sustainability from the beginning. What they do is they start off with the cost and other requirements. But what is changing is that you have to start looking at the sustainability aspect. And that's where there is a lot more opportunity coming up, even in this domain, for startups to come out with new ideas. Starting from looking at alternative materials to improving and optimizing energy consumption, water consumption, and all these things. And obviously, we know that in India, we have a huge amount of DCCs coming in. So that is another area which will be a focus on sustainability.
May I add one point? So I think one brilliant thing that Jyothi just brought to our attention was when you're setting up a company, right? Or when you're setting up a building, right? There are very high levels of requirement now, and it's very clearly mandated as to how you get your certification. Where I think the fall-off point is, once a building is made, there is no focus on keeping it green, right? And there are some, one of the most beautiful things about living in our country is, there are so many products, services, and solutions already available to keep a campus green. I'll give you one example which I'm deeply passionate about. And I was speaking recently to one of the banks about this, right? And hotel managers. The average amount of phenyl and Lysol that hotel uses is about 300 liters a month. Now you're using such potent chemicals, You're cleaning the space, but that's contaminating the groundwater, which is eventually going to come back to you in your food, right? So the alternative of plant-based, bioenzyme-based cleaners that do not harm the planet, do not contaminate the groundwater, are safe for skin, for pets, for children, and do the job in terms of cleaning the space to the required degree. The solution already exists, pardon the pun. But the awareness is not there.
Exactly.
And once you have even 1% of the adoption, the cost effectiveness is guaranteed.
Yes.
So I think the idea of, looking at the entire value chain of creating green is also an opportunity and a stigmatism that we're currently living with.
Absolutely. Thank you. So, Mr. Rao, you have led green buildings, 5S, and various other things. And I think you also know that very recently India has just started the carbon credit trading scheme, the CCTS, which is going to be coming out in 4 months. And the portal, I think, yesterday was opened. So placing legally binding emission intensity targets on around 740 industrial entities across 9 sectors with full trading expected within months. So for large enterprises, this changes the calculation entirely. What does it actually take to green a large complex operation? And how should boards be thinking about carbon compliance as a cost, a revenue opportunity through tradable carbon credit certificates, and a competitive differentiator all at once?
Yeah, this is very important because I'm telling a little story. Earlier days, the offices are, fully covered. Windows are with, a lot of vanishing blinds or curtains. Clothes will be there. Tables are covered with, clothes. It's old kind of traditional offices will be there. That is covering a lot of things. Those days, that is a fashion. So now things are changed. The buildings are coming up with different, strategy. It is covered, lighting will be inside, and air also, quality air will get it. Reduction in, AC consumption, electricity consumption. A lot of consumption will be, mitigate, optimize that through, a lot of practices already there. We have started. For example, I am belonging to thermal power plant, which is, you think it is a lot of coal dust. Manufacturing is full of coal dust, a lot of ash is falling everywhere. The mindset you will find, but it's not like that. Where I work, my company presently, that is fully covered with ash earlier days. Now there is no ash everywhere. It is, we are selling a ash. We cannot throw it somewhere like that. We are giving ash for free. There is 2,000 bulkers will be used for removing all this ash for free to cement businesses. That is also one kind of idea generated by somebody else that has been using everybody. That is one kind of sustainability model. Secondly, I'm coming to the offices. Can I speak in Hindi?
Yes.
So हमारा ऑफिस था पूरा ओल्ड फैशन में था. सब लोग आ रहे हैं जा रहे हैं बस ओल्ड फैशन में काम कर रहे हैं जा रहे हैं. एक मोटिवेशन नहीं है एम्प्लॉइज में. डिफरेंट लगता था. हम देखते थे क्या यार कुछ मजा ही नहीं आ रहा है. एम्प्लॉइज आ रहे जा रहे हैं. 2 पंच 1 लंच का कॉन्सेप्ट में चलता था. मतलब 2 पंच करते थे 1 लंच करते थे चला जाते थे. वो मजा नहीं आ रहा है. सो वी हैव टू मिटिगेट दिस एनवायरमेंट. यार कुछ तो नया करेंगे. सो we started created idea generation. People can give an ideas. So some people are giving an idea. So हमारा administrative building था पूरा covered with all blinds and all. We have removed it. We make it in a glass. And हम लोग पूरा furnishing करने के लिए जाएगा तो CEO बोलेगा यार not required this. Let it be. उसको नहीं कर सकते. CEO approve नहीं करेगा. Management भी approve नहीं करेगा. यार कुछ तो इसको करना पड़ेगा. हमारा क्या किया हम लोगों ने फेज में छोटा सा सर इसको कर देंगे सर. अच्छा अप्रूव्ड ओके गो हेड. थोड़ा इसको कर देंगे सर. ये एक स्ट्रेटजी आप लोग बता रहे आप यूज करिए ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में. छोटा छोटा पार्ट में आप अप्रूव लेते रहिए. पूरा आपका काम भी हो जाएगा ऑर्गेनाइजेशन भी हो जाएगा. यू विल सी द डिफरेंट एनर्जी डिफरेंट. ऐसे करते करते पूरा ग्लास बिल्डिंग हो गया, पूरा ग्रीन बिल्डिंग हो गया. Then idea another started. Why can't we go for green building certification? We have tried it. They come, they surveyed, they seen all the compliances where gender bias toilets भी रहना चाहिए, garbage distribution के लिए different colored coded भी रहना चाहिए. I'm giving shortly answer. So ये सब करना, IGBC का जो guidelines होता है वो सब follow करना. Finally we got platinum certificate for India, first Indian thermal private plant. IGBC CAA का certification मिला है. So that is one kind of motivation. After that, immediately we go on to 5S certification. That is also really wonderful. You can आप लोग उसको try करिए 5S certification. उससे क्या होता है 5S आपके ये ऑफिस में फॉर एग्जाम्पल इधर में अनयूज्ड मटेरियल बहुत मिलेगा आपको. अनयूज्ड फोन्स होगा, डेस्कटॉप में आपको टेलीफोन्स वगैरह पड़ा रहेगा, बहुत कुछ आप यूज ही नहीं करते हो. ऐसे बहुत कुछ फर्निचर रहता है, ओल्ड फर्निचर. ऐसे निकालते 1 ईयर में हम लोगों को 7 करोड़ का कचड़ा ट्रैश उसको एसेट कन्वर्ट इनटू 7 करोड़ रेवेन्यू जनरेट मॉडल हुआ था. सो दैट इज आल्सो वन काइंड ऑफ आइडिया. सो दैट्स
very important point that it all starts with the individual. The mindset has to change from the individual and then become collective, right? So, Antra, your climate journey started with healthcare, and you identified pollution as a root driver of rising non-communicable diseases in India. And you know, Delhi and all is facing so much. That's an insight most climate founders miss entirely. Now, layer on this, India's voluntary carbon offset mechanism under the CCTS has opened registrations for non-obligated entities, meaning startups and social enterprises outside the industrial compliance sectors can generate trade carbon credits. How does NCD pollution lens shape what Dharti is building? And do you see India emerging carbon market as a genuine revenue and impact tool for green startups, or is it still too complex and inaccessible for early stage ventures?
You know why it's a great question is because it's a natural segue to what Sir just said. Number one, kudos, because it's the fact that you came up with this idea कि एक चीज को इम्प्लीमेंट करते, उसके बाद दूसरी चीज को इम्प्लीमेंट करते, इतनी बड़ी चीज करके अवार्ड मिल गया, अब तो लीडरशिप हमको कुछ भी करने देगा. That idea of starting is very important. You know, काम चालू मुंह बंद. That's very, very important to get change, and I firmly believe that. I think the second point that you made me sort of rethink what my answer would have been. If you look at any company, right, the P&L is what everybody's obsessed with, right? What Dharti is doing, or what I would say the kind of cohort we work with, we can help you become a green company in 4 different line items. This is again CA Buddhi coming out. First, biggest line item after gross margin is your HR costs. What are the typical costs of HR other than salary? It is your employee gadgets and kits. In my company, every single thing is second hand, including the laptops and phones we use. We are committed to buying only second hand. So you're already entering the space of generating carbon credits. That is not possible for companies like large power companies and tech companies because there's genuine security concerns, power concerns with their infra. However, the employee bags and kits that you use, I'm not sure if everybody's aware, but 75% of this almost 15 to 25 million bags are virgin polyester. There we have a direct solution for you. We can give you at the same price point, better quality, with safety features attached for your employees who are on two-wheelers. We can give laptop bags, gadget cases, employee gifting. So we have you sorted there in terms of HR. The next big line item is your marketing expense. Now marketing, of course, you have your ATL, BTL and all. But for example, all the companies that have stalls there, they all try to give you something when you're leaving so you remember them. Or if you have a client visiting, you always have something laid out for them, right? So we can ensure that we create corporate gifts that are carbon negative, whether it is a gadget case, whether it is a memento. My favorite new product is a little keychain called Kick, which gives me a kick because it's a little flip that you can put your phone and take your meeting on the go, which is so useful in this Netflix and chill and Zoom world, right? So again, marketing is something we can help green. The third one is admin. Now see, you were saying that, you're going to change that to glass, you're going to beautify, increase engagement, but make the solution green. Everything from employee poofs and bean bags to bins, coasters, desk mats, mouse pads, tissue boxes. We have completely carbon negative, landfill rescue, beautiful products for you. So that's the third big chunk that can make the place look beautiful as well as be a landfill rescue material product that we make. And the fourth and the final one, which I haven't launched yet, but hopefully with Jyothi's help, one day I will, is furniture made from landfill rescue waste products. So we've already done the POC on that. We have beautiful solid pine wood furniture made from pallets, on which these big machines come globally. And they're all available for you to see and experience at the Bhumiverse store in Indranagar. And we can pretty much design anything you want. Any design you want, customize it the way you want, and give you unlimited solutions for your CapEx needs.
Great. So, Jyothi, AI is being celebrated as the great problem solver for climate. Predictive urban planning, energy optimization, carbon mapping, but training large AI models has a significant carbon cost of its own. As a geospatial data scientist building smart city solutions, how do you ensure that AI you use actually practices sustainability in itself? Give us a concrete example where AI measurably reduced environmental impact and how you kept AI itself lean.
Thank you, sir. So with this question, as a geospatial data scientist, I would definitely come up with few use cases. So first thing, Hyderabad city is one of the most advanced AI technology wherein they are using GIS for mapping the heat islands. So what they are doing is they are taking these satellite images and they are going ahead into development plan in analyzing the data and identifying how the heat islands can be highlighted so that that heat islands could be treated in the next level of analysis. Then comes Surat. Surat initiated this discussion of analyzing the data on the GIS, that is geospatial information system, using the ArcGIS and QGIS softwares or the coding that they can use, Python or R. And then they take that satellite images of Surat city. I hope you're aware, Surat earlier was just small part of city. Now it has been grown in such a way that it is being touching the other, it's joining the other great cities. So Surat is also considering use of this technology of AI and GIS based analysis. And then nevertheless the tier 2 cities of tier 1 cities of India, Bangalore, Delhi, and then comes Mumbai. They are working on it, but considering the high dense power of this city, because it's already developed, we are overpopulated in a particular place, and that the analysis of data is taking little time. But overall, I would say this is the studies in India. If I have time, I would also like to share Hong Kong is one of the best example wherein the technology has been used in a more advanced way, and we are learning from those case studies. Apart from that, Dhaka is also, though it's small, but the way the technology has been using there, the GIS mapping, the data from the satellite, and then they are using. And now, because of this uncertainty of the war, I would say GIS is the best tool to help us to analyze about what and where we can have clusters of analysis, then we can use machine learning and then go ahead predicting the models. And the next phase of analysis can start. So I would say that would be my take on
Sure.
GIS.
And I think I'll just add to that on the other part, which is how to keep the AI sustainable, is where we have to identify the right model. 95% of the cases we have seen and we have proven in our organization in Green Computing Foundation through hackathons and internships and all, that 95% of the time you don't need a LLM SLMs, and with the SLMs, it works much better, less hallucination, more accurate. And you can work on micro data centers, which runs in things like below 50 kilowatt things works. You don't need GPUs, you work on CPUs because there are models available which are modified to run on CPUs.
And
Now,
also with that, overfitting won't happen. There will be biases when the
Yes.
result is being seen.
Absolutely.
I think, yeah.
And Mr. Rao, you have focused on tech-driven HR transformation and ESG. Now, AI is increasingly being used for compliance tracking, energy behavior nudging, and workforce analytics. How do you see AI practically changing the ESG and sustainability function inside large organizations? And critically, how do you deploy it responsibly without adding to the very carbon problem you are trying to solve?
So this is very valid. I think most of the organized, they've started. My organized, something we have started, I would like to share you, for HR, green HR practices we have started. Earlier, the PMS process, they have to take out A3 paper and there is 1,000 people are there. Print, there is no clarity, it is no transparency. Everybody watch that paper and PMS will be like a mess. So that is, we have converted into a people app. We have done it. That is, PMS through online. That will be on time released, on time opened, on time released. So that is time, TAT based. So that is very effective, and employee also feel that transparent because your promoted, not promoted is based on your data driven. Your data, your what exactly you've done, you can see every 3 months. You can see that we've done it, and onboard trainings also through Udemy. We have launched 85,000 certificate courses. They can go anywhere from office also, your home also. You can access to that certificate courses. Then administratively, what we done, lot of changes we have done. There is no plastic bottle inside our office. That's why I'm hiding this plastic bottle. So I'm sorry for that, because talking sustainability and you're having a water in plastic. So it's my mistake. So we stopped all these plastic bottles. And secondly, A4 papers, or earlier days, we used to spend more than lakh of papers used. Now, today, we are using only annually 200 bundles only for 1,000 plus employees. So that is one thing is reduction. Thirdly, what ma'am said, food waste you will find in the canteens. Administrative, I'm telling, food waste will be the larger at canteens. Earlier, there is every day we mentioned that there is today is 30 kilos, 40 kilos waste is there every day. We saw that what is this here? People are wasting food. Why? We have talked with committee members and all. I get the ideas. We have resized the platings. Size छोटा कर दिया थोड़ा सा, quantity कम कर दिया. ज़्यादा खाना है तो बाद में ले लो, दोबारा खाओ, no problem. But पहले ये तो खा लो. So ऐसे करते करते 60 kg से 5 किलो में आ गया food waste. वो एक अलग आइडिया था. वो आइडिया आने के बाद कुछ और आइडिया आया था. हार्टिकल्चरिस्ट आए तो वो आया सर इसको मैन्यूर बनाएंगे. ऑर्गेनिक मशीन्स, ऑर्गेनिक वेस्ट कन्वर्टर मशीन ले गए, ऑर्गेनिक वेस्ट को कन्वर्ट किया मैन्यूर में. उसको हम लोग अपना लैंड में कई कई जगहों में स्टार्टेड वेजिटेबल्स स्टार्ट किया. वेजिटेबल्स भी मिलने लगा. सो दीज आर द आइडियाज वी स्टार्टेड. सो वी सस्टेनिंग बिजनेस एज वेल एज द लैंड वेयर वी लैंड इज वो समुद्र के पास में था. वहां पे सब चमत्कार करना इतना आसान नहीं है. इट्स कम विथ योर आइडिया एंड मैनेजमेंट लीडरशिप एंड द पीपल. आपका जो एम्प्लॉयज है वो भी सपोर्ट करना चाहिए. सो इफ आप 2 महीने के बाद आइए हमारा प्लांट में, आपको आम मिलेगा. सो आम का भी पेड़ लगा रखा है उधर में, आम्स मिलेगा, एम्प्लॉय को देते हैं हम. एंड एवरी Saturday we send a vegetables to our township free of cost for our employee. Organic vegetables we send it. So these are the ideas we implemented. It's not me, it's all the team members working behind that sunway. So ये सब implement करना चाहिए आप लोगों को. Boldly करना पड़ेगा. Sustain करना है तो आपको first start with yourself. That is very important. Otherwise sustain नहीं कर सकते. Sustainability एक word ही रहेगा, sustain कुछ नहीं रहेगा. That's it.
Excellent. So I don't think we have any more time. It already shows time up. So one of the things that we have to see as a startup as a business entrepreneur is that sustainability itself is giving a lot more opportunity. Number one. And we started with the point that profitability is important for sustainability. When we talk about sustainability, what we are talking about is optimizing the use of resources. If we optimize the use of resource, we are reducing the expense. That increases profitability much more than taking the wrong decisions for trying to lower the cost. The lowering of cost related aspect doesn't work anymore. We have to also understand one more thing. Earlier, the requirements was very, very clear for everything. Every customer in every domain knew what they want. So it was a more deterministic kind of a scenario. So what worked in the deterministic scenario is not okay today because we are in a world which is probabilistic. And with AI, it is much more. We always don't know what we want. So in that kind of a scenario, working with constrained resources, how we can make the most out of it and get out of our practice and our way that we have been used to of working with redundancy has to go down. And that's what technology and non-technology related business has to start working on. Now with that, I close our session. If there is any question, we would be happy to take. Otherwise, I think thanks to the panel.
Thank you a lot. By this, I understand sustainability is not just a wave, it's going to be a movement, a huge one, because people like you and startups like these are not going to inspire, but are going to sustain the sustainability.